Today I'm going to be telling you guys the story of Avatar, Fire and Ash. So let's go back to the second movie of Avatar called Avatar, The Way of Water. Jake Sully now has a family of 4 kids and his wife Neytiri. His kids are Neteyam, Loak, his youngest daughter, and Kiri. But there's also one other person joining the family called Spider. But Spider isn't a Na'vi. He is a human. Basically, in the last movie, they had to leave their clan because everyone and all the Sky People were after Jake after he betrayed the humans for the Na'vi. So now they're with the Water Na'vi tribe. These tribes are divided into 4. The Omaticaya clan, which is the Forest Na'vi. There's the Water Na'vi, the Air Na'vi, and the Fire Na'vi. The Fire Na'vi are known to be dangerous and very powerful because fire can burn almost anything. But Jake knows that they have to get rid of Spider because they were after Spider too, and he was a dangerous threat to the Na'vi clans. Basically, the movie starts off 2 weeks after the Avatar Way of Water takes place, and they learn a lot of things. The Sky People were still after Spider. Neteyam dies. Loak feels like he's gonna follow the footsteps of his brother, but he also feels like he's in the shadow of his brother Neteyam. Keep in mind, Loak's only 14 years old, approximately. We can't know the for sure thing. But he also has a romantic interest on one of the Water Clan's girls, the chief's daughter, Soraya. And Soraya, she's very supportive. And at the beginning, her brother was really discouraging and really hated Loak because he had 5 fingers instead of 4. The reason Loak has 5 fingers instead of 4 is because he got his human genes from Jake, because Jake used to be a human. But despite Loak getting bullied for it, he still defends his family and shows violence when required. Now, you may wonder why he does this, but he really shows support for his family despite being aggressive. And he wants to prove to his dad that he's worth it. But Jake doesn't think he's worth it and calls him a knucklehead, discourages him, and is very hard on him. Ever since Neteyam died, Neytiri, Loak's mother, well, she's kind of been in the wrong frame of mind. She's been wanting to kill Spider. She's been highly depressed. And this is understandable because in the first movie, it's shown that her dad died. And before even the first movie started, her sister died due to an explosion. So she's been going through a lot. Even her childhood best friend died in the first movie. So she has what people say every right to be the villain. But she's not the villain. She's just grieving over her son's death because it's a lot to handle. After this, they find out that the Sky People are coming after them. So they have to run away and give Spider away. The family, of course, not happy with this. All the kids are arguing with their parents and being like, this is unacceptable. Spider needs to stay. Spider can't be with those evil people. And Spider doesn't want to be here either. But his oxygen, because the Sky People, the Na'vi area is considered poisonous to humans because they have to wear the oxygen masks to be able to survive. But at this rate, Spider's going to run out of oxygen masks and then he might end up dying. So Jake's trying to be a good person and try to take care of Spider because they've known Spider for a long, long time. But proceeding to that, they go with the Air Na'vi and they try to escape. But then they get attacked by the Fire Na'vi. Now keep in mind, the Fire Na'vi, they have a lot of bad stuff. They play with fire and everyone knows not to mess with fire, which is same in this movie. Keep in mind, this takes place 100 years later in the 2100s. So, everything's really different now. They're on Pandora. Earth is dying, so what do you expect them to do? But then they decide that they have to take care and make sure that they have to defend their own home. Many Air Na'vi died, and General Quaritch was after his son, Spider. General Quaritch, he had genetics that helped the Pandora people turn him into an avatar. Because the actual General Quaritch died in the first movie due to Neytiri striking him with a bow. But that's beside the point. General Quaritch gets stuck with Jake, and he demands Jake to send him to Spider. But Jake, due to the explosion of the air Na'vi balloons and the ships, he is lost. He is on the other side of the forest that they got themselves buried into. And Kiri, Lowok's little sister, and Spider are on the other side. So Jake has no idea where they are. But then that's when Varyong, the Fire Na'vi leader and clan leader, finds them and traces them down. She orders her people to get rid of them. And she is surprised to see that Spider is surviving without a mask. Now, a few minutes prior to this, probably hours if we're being realistic, Spider ended up passing out, and Kiri used her powers to call out to Mother Nature, Awa, to help make sure Spider doesn't die. Now, what is Awa, you might ask? Awa is the living Mother Nature all Na'vi look up to. But Varyong kind of has a problem with Awa, because Awa didn't listen to her prayer when she needed one. Many of her people died, according to her, due to the battles and all the suffering she's been through. Now she wants power. She even notices Lowok has a gun with him. Now she wants to know how to make thunder. So she orders General Quaritch. Now General Quaritch kind of decides to help Varyong once Jake and his family are free. He offers to give them guns and bombs and anything they wanted, which could be dangerous because the Na'vi only have their spears. And as they say, you can't win a fight if you have a knife and the other person has a gun. You could genuinely die because you can't defend yourself from a gun with a knife unless you have acrobatic skills. But still, the knife is worthless in a gunfight. But that's when Varyong seduces him. And this is when stuff starts getting really freaky and all. So I'm going to skip to the next part. And that's when Jake warns the Water Clan that they have to fight for their own life. Lowok separates away because Jake, the night before, had blamed Lowok for his older brother's death. And Lowok, wanting to commit suicide and all that, decided that he felt like he had no worth in his own family, which kind of hurts. Because Jake, he's known to be the clan leader of the Forest Na'vi. But Lowok followed the footsteps of Neteyam, his older brother. And although Neteyam really cared about Lowok still felt like he was responsible for Neteyam's death. And that made him want to commit. But then Soraya tells him that he is worth in this life and that she loves him for who he is. Now, unfortunately, they don't get a kissing scene in the movie, which a lot of people say is unfair. But Lowok and Soraya's love is so strong that he wants to live for her. So they go on a trip together and they find the Matakayan, and they want to save the Water Clan from Quaritch, the Sky People, etc., and the Fire People. So they all told each other they need to go to war. And this war was going to be intense because the Fire Na'vi had guns, freaking guns, and Quaritch was helping. And now Quaritch and Varong are mated and everything's going insane. And even the Sky People are like, what is going on? Because Quaritch, he's supposed to be a general, but now he's made it to Varong and dresses in the Na'vi style, and everyone's just like, ugh. Because he was supposed to be getting Varong to help them, but instead he gets mated to her, and she seduces him, and she puts him under a spell or something. I have no clue. But then Spider comes out and tries helping, and so lots of people die. Soraya's friend, Roxko, he died because he got a spear stabbed into his chest. And the clan leader, who was pregnant with her child, even passed away. And she named her child Pearl. And she asks Neytiri to help and take care of her own child. And in my opinion, that death was very unnecessary. Why? Because she was a good clan leader. She didn't have to witness having to get rid of her baby from her stomach before dying. That's just a painful thing to watch. And before that, when they had to get to Medikayan, Soraya told her own mother that she will never see her again. And that came out as true. But they all realized they were after Jake. And so Jake turns himself into the Sky People. And this is where everything gets interesting. The Sky People think they're like winning and all that stuff. But they're not. Instead, they're having this feeling that like one of the Avatar people are coming through. They were kind of clueless about it. But then Neytiri comes to save Jake. She destroys the product of Pandora that the Sky People had worked hard to build. And she goes after Jake. And even Spider was taken captive of, but he escapes. They realize that Spider was able to live and breathe the air that the Pandora people were breathing. But if they found out how, many people without the oxygen, they will try to find a way to not need oxygen for the humans to step foot on the Pandora land, which could be pretty bad because oxygen was the only thing that helped humans survive, and any other air would probably cause death to the humans, aka the Sky People. But some Marine helps Jake escape, and they're able to fled. Neytiri says that, she attacks the Sky People, and they try to rage bait her, if you know what I mean. But Neytiri doesn't let that happen, and she ends up getting into a fight with Varong, and that gets really intense. So she saves Jake, and Spider gets saved too. General Korch ends up dying due to an explosion because of the big spiral that absorbs everything. Many generals passed away due to that. And Jake, Neytiri, Lowak, Soraya, etc., all the people, they believed that the Sky People can't do any more. So I wouldn't say it was necessarily a happily ever after because they had to witness some funerals happening, and it's kind of sad if you know what I mean. But in the end, they were able to fight for their home, which is really important. The lesson of this story is fight for loved ones, because no matter what, they need your back, and you need theirs.